Hi everyone, it is so good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. We appreciate you being with us today at noon. It's a good time to be inside and watching TV, frankly, because it's cold. Some areas saw temperatures well below zero this morning. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick, he is standing by in the KREM 2 Weather Center. Thomas, what do you know?
Yeah, Laura, it has been very, very frigid as of this morning. In fact, I kind of jested with some of our coworkers that if you say it's below freezing, try 40 degrees below freezing, because some locations were -8 for low temperatures this morning. That was the mark in both Coeur d'Alene and for Deer Park, only to be outdone by Republic, Washington at -13 for the low temperature this morning. Spokane officially at -3. So below zero for the lowest temperature readings on this Tuesday. This has been by far our coldest we've been so far this winter. Sunshine feels nice, it looks nice, but it's only warmed us up to 13 degrees. Again, that's 16 degrees warmer than it was this morning, so the sun is certainly trying its best, but it had to start at a very cold reading this morning, and that is not going to change tomorrow morning either, as cold weather advisories continue across all of these blue shaded areas, including in Spokane, as low temperatures will drop to 0 to 12 below zero. Thankfully, the wind is not that much of a factor. That's why these aren't called wind chill advisories any longer as of this winter. And it's just quite literally how low do those thermometers drop to. It's not just going to be Wednesday morning either. I still think Thursday morning is going to be at that same mark with those low temperatures near zero and at times below zero. So it is always worthy to not just keep yourself warm and comfortable, but your pets as well.
All right, Thomas, thank you so much. So speaking about pets, you'll want to be watching out for them as, of course, we continue through these really cold temperatures. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones, he talked with Spokanimal about keeping your pets safe during this extreme blast.
Well, here it is, plain and simple. We're cold, which means your pets are likely cold as well. And when we get to temperatures this low, that can become dangerous. And so that's why we're here at Spokanimal talking with Dory Peck. You're phenomenal. I keep telling you that.
Well, thank you.
I've enjoyed my time speaking with you.
You guys have done great.
But when we get temperatures this low, what kind of advice would you have for pet owners or people who just have some furry friends out there in the communities?
Absolutely. So make sure that you're letting them in and out pretty quickly throughout the day, obviously. Fresh water, I've been saying that all morning.
Yeah.
Heated water bowls are a huge critical thing. That also helps the wildlife, the squirrels and things like that too. Just use some common sense as far as when you're really, really cold, they are as well. Yes, they have fur, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be cold and suffering.
Absolutely.
The pads of their feet with the salt and stuff that we put out for ice, make sure you're wiping that off too, because that can be a little bit harsh on their feet.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So what do you think? It's like kind of burning the paws or so?
It's just probably abrasive and it hurts.
Yeah.
There is pet-friendly de-icer, so
Okay.
that's what we use here. You can get that at Lowe's and Home Depot and anywhere like that as well. Those water bowls you can get at North 40, the Country Store, PetSmart, Petco, anywhere like that as well.
Absolutely. And before we toss it back, we've been talking about Oreo back here. And so Oreo was dropped off yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought he was a pretty big bunny, but you said he's not that big.
No,
and
he's normal size.
But something that's good about that is that, you know, they didn't just go and put them out in the cold weather, right? You rather have people come and drop your animals off here before they do something along those lines.
Absolutely. And we prefer, obviously, to be here because we are gone after about 6 o'clock at night. We don't want them sitting out in cages out here. We don't have anyone checking. So please come between the hours that we're here, 7:30 in the morning normally until about 5:30. So we're willing to help. We know how hard it is for folks, especially, you know, if you're unhoused. If you need to go to housing or warming centers, things like that, we do have a guardian angel program so we can house the animals for people at no charge.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for doing what you do and for all of those great tips and advice. And for now, we'll toss it back to you all in the studio.
Love Spokanimal. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to switch now to talking about today is the deadline to submit a ballot for some local Washington special election. So right now, folks can still vote for a proposition for the Freeman School District if you're in that district. And if you're in Rosalia, they have the Rosalia Park District. Proposition 1 is a levy for the Freeman School District. It would assess $1.20 for every $1,000 of property value for the 2026 and 2027 year. That money would pay for things like school safety, security, and technology upgrades. The second measure applies to those in the Rosalia Park and Recreation District. It would impose a special tax of 53 cents per $1,000 of property value. The tax would collect $93,000 to operate and maintain the Rosalia Park and Swimming Pool. Ballots must be turned into a ballot drop box or postmarked by 8 o'clock tonight. We are learning some new details about a deadly bus crash that killed 4 people. We know now that passengers on the bus were from all across the state, including Spokane and Othello. The crash happened on Highway 28 near the Gorge Amphitheater. Washington State Patrol says a car collided head-on with a charter bus. One passenger told KREM 2 she and several other people were thrown from their seats.
The whole front is completely got blown off. I remember I just realized what happened. We were tilted and I looked up and all of a sudden I could see the sky.
2 teens in the car and the bus driver died in the crash. Another person on the bus later died at the hospital. 4 people in total. WSP also says 4 people on the bus were critically injured as well. WSP is still investigating and we'll certainly keep you updated. The new cell phone ban in Coeur d'Alene public schools is getting off to a rocky start. The policy went into effect this week, and it says students can bring personal devices to school, but however, they cannot use them in the classroom during passing time or at lunch. Last night, school district leaders faced some pushback from students. They say phones are a valuable addition to learning.
Since the time you were young in school have changed drastically. Today, most people, especially students, socialize through technology. Students use these devices as tools.
Last night's meeting came in the wake of a change.org petition created by students calling the policy, quote, unreasonable. The board is expected to revisit the policy coming up in April.